I'm joined now. Gonna go live.
We're live, my friend.
Live!
I don't got all day for this. Like I'm
We are
planning.
live.
I'm
What do
planning
you have to do?
2023.
You got a job?
No,
You get
what
a
I'm
job?
doing right now. Welcome back to Lucas Tigers and Bronzo My.
Friday. You ain't got a job.
921.
Yeah.
Episode 921. If you guys are listening from Burbank, it looks amazing. Kind of jealous.
You got FOMO?
No.
It's,
None.
No,
Zero.
But you said you're jealous.
Yeah, like it looks awesome. It looks visually appealing.
Okay. But you don't want to be there though.
No, I'm loving my current state. I'm getting a little bit
Florida?
more routine in my life, and even more so like financial routine. So today I set up automatic payments into Robinhood for dollar cost averaging into dividend stocks, and it was like,
Hey!
yeah,
Oh, I
he's
like
making
it.
so many noises today. This
I like
this young man, and it just feels nice. You know how like when you do that first workout, it's like I'm on the path to compounding good habits.
I don't know anything about the first workout.
I agree. But for example, you eat your Chick-fil-A without the bun. It feels good because you're investing in your future self. So what I did was I invested in my future self, and I have like these dividend paying stocks, that Verizon being one of them we've talked about, and it's $50 every month. But it felt good.
So one to look at for you today is Camping World.
Camping World.
And Newell Brands. NWL is the stock ticker. Good earnings, but gave a bad forecast for next quarter. It is a car icon company. They own things like Sharpie. It's like hobby adjacent, right? You sign your autographs, Sharpie, Rubbermaid. The storage containers and stuff. It's a conglomerate type of thing. Then
Magical locomotive. Do they own Los Pollos Hermanos as well?
That'd be great. That would be great. Los Pollos Hermanos.
The scene I was watching was when they just blew up the lab and it killed Gus.
Oh, yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
So
Tio Hector. Camping World's a good one because the dividend's up around 9%, 9 and change. And so I actually added some to my portfolio this morning. And Newell Brands, NWL, that's another one. They were down like 7% in the morning. I'm sure they'll come back by the end of the day. It's an overreaction.
They own Contigo, which is my favorite company.
Yeah, the drink holder. Yeah, exactly. A lot of good brands. And with the pullback in stock price today, I think the dividend's probably around 7%. It was in the mid sixes, and now it's probably back over 7.
The dividend changes.
Yeah, the percent of the dividend changes. The yield on the dividend changes. The dividend itself is usually. It's the same. They'll announce what a quarterly dividend is, and they can change it quarterly or yearly or whatever it is. But the yield on the dividend changes based on the stock price. You know how to calculate a dividend yield, right? So if a stock is at $100 and they pay a $5 dividend per year, that's a 5% dividend. But if the stock drops from 100 to 50 and it's still a $5 dividend, that's a 10% dividend. It doubles the yield on it because the stock is now half the price and it's still yielding the same dividend. So.
Would you want to be in high dividend yield stocks that are volatile, or would you want ones like Verizon that basically doesn't move in price?
So utilities are if you're looking for constant investment payouts, utilities are great because they are pretty steady. They are going to generate enough free cash flow where your dividend is usually safe. When you're investing in dividend stocks, you're not looking for significant price appreciation in the stock. You're looking for the stability of that income that comes out. Either some of them do it monthly, most quarterly. But if you have volatility in the stock, that also usually would threaten the safety of the dividend. So yeah, you want less volatility in the share price, and you want to know that free cash flow, that revenue is going to be there so that the dividend is safe. You have to look at the free cash flow in the earnings and make sure that the payout ratio is not too high when you're doing this stuff. Right? Payout ratio, I was looking at Camping World, it's about 50%, which is very safe, but they're forecasting bad earnings for the coming year because they're expecting recession. Most are forecasting worse earnings. But even if the bad earnings report is true and they hit the bad earnings that they think they're going to do, the payout ratio is still only like 68%, so it's still safe. You don't want to get up to like 80%. You don't want to be paying out so much of your revenue in dividends because then your dividend is threatened and the safety of it is threatened. One of the companies that I mentioned to you, VF Corp, they own Supreme and the other brands I told you about. Believe it or not, they actually just cut their dividend yesterday. So
what does that do to the stock?
usually makes it go down because people like you who are looking for income, and they're looking for, the stock to pay them out. They were at 6 and change percent. The dividend is now like 4%. And the stock was down because of that, because now, that dividend is something that people who are investing in the stock were looking for. You guys did not tune in to listen to this today, but it's fun.
I'm trimming the fat. So do you want to do sell or hold?
Sure, we could do sell or hold. We could talk about the Super Bowl. Are we live? Did we go like live? Is there anybody there? Is there anybody
millions
out there?
Millions of
guys,
people.
If you're
watching.
out there, I can't watch because I'm not on the YouTube channel. Andrew is on the YouTube channel.
You can't present and watch. That makes sense. That checks out.
I can't see it. I'm on a different app. Right, you have the YouTube up. I don't. So anyway, if you're on there and you can see me and you're live, ask questions. I'd love to answer questions. I even have a mail day for you guys. If you want me to open a little mail day here, I can.
How much time have you budgeted for this entertainment?
Half hour, dude. But I mean, listen, I can carry us for 3 hours if you want. That's the best part about this hobby. It doesn't make a difference. I can just talk. I love this hobby. Even
There's
when I have a bad week,
to talk about.
There is.
There's literally nothing.
So how about this? I'm going to ask you a question. I got a DM the other day.
Is it another genius question of what was Kevin Durant feeling when he woke up in Phoenix? Like, what am I even supposed to answer? Sorry, Cage.
I had a great answer to the Kevin Durant.
Because you're always in your feelings.
On the Sports Card Nonsense show that I was on yesterday, guys.
You asked yourself the same question you asked me on.
No, they asked me a question and I answered it. So here you go, guys. You ready? I have a question for Andrew. Okay, and I'll try to keep it short. Already too late as I open my mail here. Okay. Are you afraid? So I'll give you the background because you don't like my short question.
I am shocked how I've been able. I woke up proud because what the fuck does that mean?
I got a DM from one of our listeners, a regular listener, who said that the fear in your voice and in your mannerisms in the episode the other day was so obvious about how afraid of the market and afraid of the hobby you are. And I think you capped it with like, thank you, Beckett. That episode. And
okay, thank you.
Are you afraid?
Very afraid. Very afraid.
Please, because there are people out there who probably also are afraid and they want to hear that from you. It is actually a genius topic.
It's actually a great question. Thank you for that. Dude, I'm very afraid. I woke up today thinking so there's two motivators. There's pain and pleasure. Thank you for going on mute because you're pretty annoying. As he gets a soda. Wow, dude, you open your mail and you open your soda. You're really excited.
I have an itch over here too, but I'll
very afraid because one, this is now that I'm like 33 years old, I'm self-sufficient. I have to live on my own. I have to pay bills. My expenses have gone up in life. So there's the personal, like independent finance that I'm worried about. I'm also worried for our partners. Like we work with Beckett, we work with Whatnot, right? We work with PWCC. I understand the cyclicality of the hobby, and I understand that the way business has maybe gone the last 2 years, it might not go the same way for them. And how can we be a supportive partner? How can we help them through that? And the fear part is when times are good, everybody's winning. But when times are not so good, there's more adversity, and you don't know how people both emotionally handle it, like our partners, how they're going to handle that, and how the whole hobby is going to handle it. So I'm very afraid. I try, and I haven't done a great job at it, but I try to channel fear into productive action, i.e. like, okay, I'm afraid that I'm not going to have enough money, right? So how do I think through it strategically so that I could think 3, 4, 6 months down the road so I could kind of get that off my list, right? Does that mean selling some cards, right? Even the cards that you maybe love so much. Okay, well, it'll give me peace of mind for the next 6 months to operate. So very afraid, trying to be an adult and channel the fear into productive action. And I think it's naive and foolish not to be afraid, because if you kind of look back economically, we've rode a really good market, maybe one of the best markets in history, for 14 years. And that's unsustainable. And many people, if you're like me, thought that this recession would happen sooner if it wasn't for the printing of money and low interest rates that kind of kept things going. So I'm very afraid. And then there's the family, and my sister just got a job out of college, so there's that element too. So,
Is your fear about the short-term future of the hobby specifically? So you're pivoting money out of the hobby in the short term, meaning cards, meaning I mean, the hobby is a broad definition. Taking modern cards out, what would you? So I guess I'll phrase it a different way. If there are people listening who have now heard what you just said,
my fear is of the unknown
Mhm.
and being as prepared as I can for the unknown. So the unknown is like hypothetically with our podcast. It's what if we have no sponsors, and how do we take care of our team that works for us, and just in general, how do I live off of that, right? So you need that budget of, okay, well, this is how much my expenses are every month for the business. This is how much my personal expenses.
Weed.
So huh?
I said weed.
Weed is, dude, weed's expensive, man.
I know. It's personal expenses.
Rent,
Yeah,
car,
rent. Weed before rent.
groceries. I hope
Smoke
not.
in your car.
I hope not. But yeah, sure. What was your question?
What do you tell somebody else who's sitting out there with their collection, right? Who is in the same spot as you? Somebody who came in the last couple of years. Is it? And guys, this is not you have to run out and do what Andrew says. This is a point counterpoint show. And
This is a question for Andrew, though.
Correct. So, but what I'm telling the
just
people
what
out there
doing.
is this is exactly just what Andrew is doing. Exactly right. Right. So, I mean, if Andrew jumps off a bridge, guys, doesn't mean you got to jump off a bridge too. But it is important to get an insight into the mind of this young man, because I have a feeling a lot of people are having the same type of thoughts that you are.
I think you have to know your temperament. I'm someone who really struggles under stress. Like I like the stress of a big soccer game, love it, but I hate the stress of like not having enough money to pay for bills. I don't like that stress. That's not a stress. That's not a creative place to be. Like if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like fighting for survival. So if you're fighting for survival and you have that my temperament, which is a worrier, I'm selling cards to have an extra cushion so that if things get hard, if I can't, because I just remember 3 months ago when it was really hard to sell cards. And this may be head fake that we talked about. It's an opportunity for me to get a little bit of kind of like a little bankroll, so to speak. And the cards I'm selling are cards that I can get back. So I'm very conscious about the cards that I'm letting go. Like one of them is this Jordan Beam team, which I really like this card. And I wanted it at BGS 9.5 slab. But it's a card I know I could get back.
Correct.
I can find a Beam team card. So that's how I'm thinking through it.
I love it. I mean, and it's valid. And part of what was, unlayered there, but I'm sure you guys got it out there listening, is the type of selling that's being done now. That liquidity to get rid of these at prices that are reasonable, even at a slight loss, was not there a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
It's there now. Now, that it may be there because the hobby's on an upswing, and it's very possible that these items are going to continue to go up. It may be there because, like previous Januaries and Februaries, we've seen a little bit of a run, a little bit of a happiness in the hobby, a little positivity. Record prices seem to be in this quarter. If you look back,
more dollars going around.
More dollars. So Andrew is not of the belief that this is just the start of a run up, and that he could take these Michael Jordan Beam teams and sell them in April, May, June for more. He says, I'm going to take this liquidity now and sell into it.
I like also don't think that we're in the same 2020, 2021 where there were speculative opportunities. I just don't think that they're there. I think even if you get on a guy like Cam Thomas, what you see is there's so many different cards of his. So when the Prism of Zion went ballistic in January 2020, that was the card to go after. It wasn't Select or Optic. That wasn't even out. Those products weren't out. Everyone went after Prism. Now it's very hard to speculate. Like I said that yesterday. I don't think it's a speculator's market.
Long-term speculation has always been there, buying into like Bowman baseball, but that is like a year-over-year, multi-year hold. If you were a Jason Dominguez buyer last year when he was batting, below the Mendoza line in the minors, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble on him. And now he just got invited to spring training. If he lights it up at spring training and there's rumors about him maybe making the big league squad out of spring training, all of a sudden you are going to turn that into something.
You're assuming that, though. But the market's down 40, 50%.
And that's
you could be right and wrong. That's the issue.
So, and let's talk about that, because, I've been victim of that myself. And so have you, and you've gotten to see some of that. Even when you make all the right moves, if you're making those right moves while the market is on a downswing, I made some good moves on my loss. And the way I thought about it this morning when I woke up was it was a win, even though it was a loss. Because by making the moves that I did, it could have been a bigger loss, a significantly bigger loss. So, I mean, there's different ways to kind of, I guess rationalize things. But
that's
what Andrew
exactly
just said
how
is,
I thought about your play as well.
well, let's see if it gets paid. But it's a great point to layer on. And he may be dead wrong, guys, but it's a conversation worth having. And it's a conversation that many people won't have. Because we hear hobby optimism, we see pelvic movements of influencers, we see all kinds of dances and be positive and look at the trade night. I've been up since 6 a.m. Look at our people here. And that's great. I mean, I'm optimistic about the hobby. I will be here. You guys, March 9th, I'll be at the Brigandy Collectors Night. We're going to be at Mint. I'll be here in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, as long as the Chick-fil-A doesn't get my heart. But before then. But as long as the hobby will have me, I'll be here. That said, it's valuable to have these kind of conversations that we're having because I know people are thinking it, right? The hobby was never 2020 before and may never be that again. And that's okay. It's important to have conversations about what we think the hobby might be in the short term, all right? Recession will be Q4. Summer, there'll be a flood of cards entering the market, says Dennis Zender. And that's another person's opinion who has some insight into the financial markets. But it's a great point to layer on top of what Andrew's saying. Because he's finding liquidity now. He's selling into strength, something we've talked about many times on the show. And if Dennis is right and Andrew is right, the type of cards that he's selling now, there are buyers for at a certain level. The thought is that those cards that he has, if the markets get bad, overall markets you're talking about macroeconomic picture. If in a quarter or two, more people need money and they didn't take the advance step that Andrew's taking now, he doesn't necessarily need it now, but he wants to have that cushion, was what he said. You would find yourself in 3, 4, or 5 months selling the same cards as everyone else while everyone's trying to sell and no one's trying to buy.
I was thinking about something yesterday. It was a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And the way I kind of like the aha was to me, like wisdom is knowledge contextualized to you, right? So all of the advice that you just in general hear, it's one dimensional, but you have to learn, I think, in life how to apply it to yourself, knowing your own personality. Like I would never want to go through selling into weakness in my life again if I could. Not maybe I got better prices, but the stress of it was so not fun. Like worrying if things get paid. I would rather sell an item and know it's getting paid tomorrow than sell it for even more, but have to worry and be uncertain if it is getting paid. And I didn't enjoy that.
It speaks to the liquidity of this as an asset.
It's a tide. It goes in and out like a tide, right?
Correct. Now, I'm still collecting, guys. Wow, another wrapping. I took it out of here. I have to unwrap this, and I'll show you guys what I got here. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's a valuable conversation to have. I really do, because I don't think you're hearing it anywhere else. Honestly, I don't think you're hearing this anywhere else, because it's not a self-serving thing. We want to get as many sponsors as we can. We want to get as many listeners as we can. We want to rah-rah, siskumba. We want to, hey, let's go, hobby. And the hobby's going to be here. Collector's going to be here. You name it. But, I mean, it is a valuable thing. It is risk management, right? It's kind of what we do talk about here. And
it's also the oxygen mask on the plane. Like, I can't rah-rah if I don't feel that I'm taken care of, right? So it's like what do they say about the oxygen mask? Like if you take care of yourself first and then put it on someone else. So someone else out there might have done extremely well the last 3 years, and they are singing. They said ecosystem, as we say. They are singing rah rah. This is the best hobby in the world. That's the symbiosis of it.
You know what hobby needs? Hobby needs a superhero. A superhero.
What is that? 1992 Cage. That's hilarious. Honestly, he has your frame.
Cage.
He has your frame.
So you got a little cage, a little Marvel cage.
Show it again. Kind of thunder thighs, no?
I mean, more heavy up top, more shoulders. He's like a big
shoulders
and thighs. Yeah, shoulders and thighs. Yeah, that's me, 100%. It's Cage. I mean, love it right there. So we got a little Cage mail day today. Can't beat it. That's collecting. You had that card, James. I love it. There you go. I love it. I mean, I have quite a few of them. I signed one for Jerry Petre. I signed it is. And by the way, Dennis, I appreciate that because you can come in and talk about how there might be a recession, how it might impact prices, and how there'll be a flood of cards. But you also will layer in it's a good time to be a collector. And by the way, Dennis hosts the collector series under the Luca Nation banner. Great series. Some really great people
Next
on
two
there.
guests are Reckless and then Shyway Vlogs.
That's going to be hilarious. Jeremy will be a heavy lift because that's what he does. And Shyway Vlogs, enjoy the train ride, my friend. It's going to be fun. Liquid cards will be hitting the market, but the key as a collector is catching some of the rarer cards that folks picked up during pandemic. For new collectors, this will be a tremendous time. Andrew's response is TLDR. That was a very long comment. He had me read it for us.
He's absolutely right, though. Like, during this time is when people picked up the right cards for the wrong reasons, so they sell them, and you might be able to get them cheap if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
What's up, Ziggy?
What's up, Ziggy? How you doing, man? This is the guy. So, I mean, you go live, and you find a couple of fun folks to get in the comments. Shoot.
To me, it's been obvious all year. Mahomes is the great. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Are you having any cold feet? What's your prediction? What are your thoughts about the Super Bowl?
They're underdogs now, I think, by 1.5.
Yep,
so,
that's right. 60% of the money on the Eagles.
I got to tell you, man, I see this game. It's funny. I'm like Dr. Strange telling Tony Stark, there's a million ways it could go, and there's one way. There's only one way that we beat Thanos, who's the strongest person in the universe. And if it all breaks, there's that one way where they win, and they won. I think that there's only one way Jalen Hurts wins this. Every other game flow scenario that I can come up with is a Chiefs way. And
can I guess it?
Shoot, please.
Run the ball
and get a lead. Like if they are smart, they're not kicking the ball off to Mahomes. If they receive, they got to receive. If Kansas City receives and they kick it to the Eagles, that's dumb, right? If you go back and watch this season, and Hurts has had a great season, he has never really been asked to be in the fourth quarter in a close game or behind and throw his team back into the game. They've always relied on defense and running and his legs and being ahead. They've given up points to certain teams. They've given up points to teams that don't have the offense that Kansas City has. So I believe that the game flow that I see is I don't see the Eagles having the ability to keep up on offense with the Chiefs. And I don't think Hurts is the guy who can throw them back into a game. That's the problem. That's the problem I see and why I think the Chiefs win this game 99 out of 100 times. However, Eagles get the ball, long drive, keep Mahomes on the bench, drive down there with run game, short throws, Hurts running the ball, and they limit the possessions, and it stays a back and forth kind of game. And the Eagles defense maybe makes one play, two plays, and it's close. I can see the Eagles winning that as long as they're not relying on Hurts to throw them into it.
I agree with the premise. Like if they realistically played 10 times, Eagles would win 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you ready for the Eagles wins this year? Because I'm not usually when teams.
Of course I am. I was the one who beginning of the season said they have the easiest
100%.
schedule in the world, right? I mean, they did.
Usually when people talk about incredible defenses going into a Super Bowl, they have pedigree of like this Ravens defense stopped Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady this year.
Yep.
Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jaguars, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers with an injured quarterback, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants, 49ers. Name one quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers that defense has faced. Aaron Rodgers without his weapons in a year where he was.
Yeah. Listen, and the Giants put up some points on them in one of the matchups. The Commanders put up some points on them. Dallas put up some points on them. Indy should have beaten them. So they have been vulnerable. The biggest thing that I saw out of them, and keep in mind, I'm going to tell you a positive and then immediately pull the rug out from this team, okay? The 49ers defense is an impressive defense, a very impressive defense, one of the top defenses in the league. And the Eagles' offensive line, the trenches, the Jason Kelsey, the offensive linemen, they pushed around the 49ers. Okay. They moved the ball. They ran the ball. Miles Sanders. They ran the ball with Scott. They ran the ball with Hurts if they needed to, not till the end of the game. But they controlled that, and that defensive front seven of the Niners is their strong suit. They're much better than Kansas City's defense. That is where I would say the Eagles would have an advantage. But here's the thing. They didn't really do it in the first half. And by the time the second half rolled around, the Niners defense was on the field the whole time because the Niners offense was 3 and out every time because they couldn't throw. So you weren't getting the best. You were getting a gassed version of them. And, I think it's kind of one of those things where I think the Eagles are getting a little more credit than they deserve for what they did to the Niners. So, it's easy to say that, give them the credit and then yank it away. The point
this is the most confident Super Bowl I've ever had in my lifetime, which is very scary.
They're underdogs, though. They're underdogs.
I think for all the wrong reasons. I think because
you're right.
I think that the Eagles haven't been battle tested, and I'm not sure you want to be battle tested in a game like this versus a veteran coach, a veteran quarterback, veteran tight end, or veteran D-line, who I all think that they're the best at their position.
The Chiefs defense is not very good.
They're terrible, but they've always been terrible.
That's the one thing, right? That's the one thing. I love Kelsey in this game. I think Kelsey, any prop on Kelsey is the way to go.
The whole Chiefs defense is terrible. Is like it's people. It's known. It's not a surprise. So they could only surprise to the upside.
Okay. Defense wins championships. The
Since
NFL, you can have an opportunistic defense. You can have a middle of the road defense. Basketball wins championships 100%. Which, if we're pivoting now to the Phoenix Suns, the one thing that concerns me about them is their defense is for a run to the championship. Their defense is not the best. They have Ayton in there. Durant might play some defense. One of the things that you impressed upon me last season when you were making your predictions were that the two teams in the finals were the two top defensive teams in the NBA. The Warriors and the Celtics were 1 and 2 in team defense. And you can go back and look at the teams that make the finals. They're almost always a top 5 defensive team against a top 5 defensive team. Your defense matters, and I think the Suns are going to have problems there.
It's Cavs in the last 10. If people are wondering the best defense in the Cavs are doing some really interesting stuff. And letting Kevin Love go is going to be interesting because he honestly is a terrible defender and he's pretty washed up. Cavs last 10 are the best defense in the NBA. And a really interesting constructed team with two like twin towers, like kind of Tim Duncan, David Robinson, with really good playmakers on either side, so you could kind of isolate in Garland and Spida. But no, I've thought about the Suns. The Suns are screwed, man. It's funny. I said the Suns were one event away from unraveling. I didn't realize that event would be Kevin Durant. Because
we'll see.
Well, the issue is they have Durant, Ayton, Chris Paul, and then Booker. And then they gave away the rotation players that they need in Cam and Bridges. So Damian Lee, like they don't have anybody else from 5 through 10. And 5 through 10 is
that whole second team that comes in. Remember we talked about it. That whole
bring in Westbrook.
Third. Yeah, bring in
Westbrook. Now bring in Westbrook. That's fun.
Now it's a championship. Bring in Westbrook. Now it's a championship. Let's go.
It's a big deal, dude. I mean, they've campaigned, but campaign, I don't know.
Yeah, no, okay. So Super Bowl, you're all in on the Chiefs. So
I've been all in on the Chiefs from the first.
Is there anything you can do from a card collecting standpoint now? If you believe the Chiefs are going to win, is it buy Mahomes or Mahomes is too expensive?
I'm betting on this game.
Oh, you're gonna put some money on it.
It's way better value than any card at this time. I'm actually selling my Mahomes.
Okay,
I finally got it cleared. It's now officially my card again. What an incredible feeling. Who knew? Vaulting. What a crazy business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is part of the hobby. Part of the hobby. Everybody's
when you're vaulting, it's like Jesse in season 5 when Todd has him cooking.
Yeah.
Those are your cards.
That's it. These are yours. Pinkman. This is yours, Todd. What a horrible character. And he was so good in was it Friday Night Lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's I love this weekend. What food should I get? I'm hosting myself and one other family. I bought a box of Score
Al?
football cards. Yeah, I bought a box of Score football
Get
cards
Mexican.
for my son and it's such a dick. My son and his daughter to open. Just Score. I don't think there's anything great in there. I sent out today a box to the winner of the LeBron. Guess who's going to be closest in the Golden auctions? 12 grand away, Matty Sarno. So you're getting your box.
Nice.
Priority mail should be there early next week. Trying to think what the heck else we
Look
got
out for this guy.
Yeah, and listen, we're I gotta tell you, man, the hobby's been through this kind of stuff, but maybe never the way that it has been in the last couple of years. The run up, the amount of money and excitement and craziness that was baked in, it's reasonable for it to kind of have one of these, reset.
Who knows if there's a reset? This is just my people could be coming back from Burbank saying that this was the best show ever and cards were flying off the shelves and there's so many kids and
there's definitely cards you can get for kids now. I bought a box of Score today for $50. It was great. Score
Is
football.
that what Ian's ripping tonight?
Tonight he will rip. I bought a soccer box and an Allen and Ginter baseball box. So I'll save the football until the Super Bowl. He can open it with his friend.
What food should you get?
Yeah, what food should
Have
I
you
get?
had Princeton pizza in New York?
I have. I had pizza last night. It was
Overrated?
International Pizza Day.
Overrated Prince Street pizza?
Yeah. I mean, New York pizza, it's pretty good almost everywhere. And you know what? If I'm here, if I'm in the city, I got a New York, authentic New York slice at Sbarro, just like Michael Scott. No?
Have you had John's on Bleecker? John's on
I
Bleecker.
have had John's on
Which
Bleecker.
Prince or John's of Bleecker?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Of those two, I think John's on Bleecker is better. But there's actually better pizza places right around there. The best pizza that I've ever had in New York is in Staten Island. It's a place called Denino's. Denino's. You have to pay cash. It's Denino. And it's across the street from the first Ralph's Italian Ices. So you eat your pizza, you go across the street, you get some Italian ices, a very Staten Island thing. I think if you look the pizza place up, it is in like the top 10 pizza places in New York and stuff like that, probably. Hey, Gary.
2,000 reviews, 4.6 stars for New York. That's incredible.
I mean, it's a great pizza, but I'm telling you, you got to bring cash. Like you have to pay cash.
Jesus,
it's a bar. And it's got a pool table. It's like very unsuspect. They've expanded it because it obviously got a great reputation. But good stuff.
Out of top 3 fights, so one fight my dad and I would have at the cafe would be menu items, but top 3 is, should we allow everybody to pay cash, or should you say like you could only pay cash under $5? Biggest fight. I said let anyone pay you in the easiest form possible. Cash.
I bought pizza this week for lunch, Tuesday, at a place called Vito's Slices and Ices in the city near my office.
You fired Vito and he opened this
business. Exactly. It's funny. I was taking a picture of it. I sent it to him. Very good slice. Good pepperoni. Good mushroom slice. I tried a bunch of different things just to see my first time eating there. I tried a couple of different slices. Good slices. They charged me 4% on top of my stuff because I was using a credit card. So a 4% fee for using a credit card.
Can be
pretty crazy, right? A couple slices of pizza with 4% added on. It's pretty crazy.
Businesses are struggling. New York businesses are struggling. Got to make 1% back.
But I mean, it was like I said, good pizza. Not the best pizza I ever had, but it was good. So let's see. What about ordering Chick-fil-A on Saturday and then reheating it?
I think Chick-fil-A is overrated. I think Chick-fil-A's brand is better than its food. Its food's good, but its brand is impeccable. It's a bulletproof brand in today's society.
One of our partners from Beckett, I texted him last night and I said, "Hey, how's Burbank looking?" Sent me their setup. Looks amazing, guys. Go stop by the Beckett.
In-N-Out is double overrated.
And In-N-Out, you notice they got the same picture.
In-N-Out is terrible.
I've never had it. Never once tried it because it's not here.
You don't travel. You're a homebody.
No, I've listen, like I said, I've stayed in the Hard Rock. There's one right across the street, but I got detoured because also across the street there's a very good lunch place called the Spearmint Rhino. So I went there for lunch instead of In-N-Out. And then I was trying to get
Burbank is in California, not in Vegas.
but I'm just telling you, I've had opportunities to have.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a good. It's like a good In-N-Out in Vegas. No, I mean, no.
Is it the same? By the way, there are some
Vegas
people listening to this right now who would tell you go to Vegas specifically for the In-N-Out.
No way. But that doesn't make sense.
Well,
you go to Vegas specifically for the
guys in the live. I know you're getting what I'm saying.
Oh, gotcha. Stupid.
Come on.
Your best friend.
Bro, In-N-Out is amazing. Mitchie the kid.
If we're going to be fair, I think everything is amazing. But actually amazing. Like we have to have standards and
no, like what do they call it? Animal style? You get the In-N-Out animal? That sounds like an order I would order. Like I tried that at Chick-fil-A once. I said, "Can I get a Chick-fil-A spicy sandwich animal style?" And they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't know. I figured I'd try it." No, didn't work. Didn't work at all. Nope, no good. Kelsey's receptions, guys.
Did you know I was thinking that? Well, I was going to ask you, Kelsey TD?
Kelsey, anytime TD. Parlay it with Kelsey's receptions, his yards. Hurts, he's going to have to run the ball. Hurts his yards on the ground. He's going to have to do is have to try to make plays with his legs. That's what I think is going to happen there. I think either way the game flow goes, if they are up, it's because he's using his legs to make plays. If they are down, I don't think he has faith in him throwing the ball, and he's going to try to pick up third downs.
Hate on Hurts throwing. Like he obviously had a pretty good year. Is it because of his shoulder?
The shoulder is hurt, so that's definitely a huge part of it. And he never was tested to do it when there were. He may surprise the shit out of everyone, and be Mike Francesa over here. Mike and the Mad Dog. People compare us to those two guys all the time. He used to call Phillip Rivers a window thrower. He's like, Phillip Rivers, he's a window thrower. He can throw the ball in a window. You got to put the ball as an NFL coach. You got to put it in a window. He's a window thrower. Okay. And I've never seen Hurts put the ball in a window. I've never seen him. It's fourth quarter. There's coverage. They have to throw. They have to move the ball downfield. The defenders are covering. He throws a good
precise throws under pressure.
He throws a good 50-50 ball. That's not going to get it done in the fourth quarter coming from behind.
It did for the Giants versus Brady, which is still the craziest thing ever.
The helmet catch. Stop saying the helmet catch.
Vegas does have some of the best chefs in the world.
But they're probably not at In-N-Out, Mitch. Mitch, are you enjoying the show? Are you enjoying California? I mean, this guy. I want to go out there. Andrew started the show off talking about Burbank and how it looked awesome, but he's not jealous. He's not there. I am. I got so many messages. Are you here? I'm buying cards. Where are you? I'm not there. I have regrets for not going. I think I just got to start going to every show because the shows look awesome. They really do. When's Philly, man? When's the Philly show?
March 12th.
All right, so we'll do that. Right? Maybe you're gonna go home, see the fam, and go to Mitch or go to the Philly
fam.
show?
That's are you. I'm actively trying not to see the fam.
All right, so come here and hang out here. See my fam. I got a couch.
Nah.
All right.
No more sleeping on couches either. Fuck that.
You can have Ian's bed. He doesn't sleep in it anyway. He likes to sleep with me.
Yeah, it's
in a good bed. It's
nah.
All right.
I'm getting. That's another 2023. I'm saying no way more.
Your prerogative. There are plenty of people in the chat who will come and hang out and sleep in Ian's bed. I do Friday rips too. You guys could open cards with Ian. It's a lot of fun. And then we'll drive down to the Philly show. It's a short little hop, skip, and a jump over.
Maxie's going to be there.
Tyrese Maxey.
Maxie's that dude. I like Maxey a lot.
All right. Well, listen. So there's your Super Bowl. Andrew says it is clear. Take all of your cards, sell them. Then sell blood, semen, and anything else you can get $1 for and put it on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Please
he says it's the easiest bet that he has seen in a long time. 34-17, I think, was the final that he gave.
Yeah.
38.
Please don't do that. I think that's a good bet, but I don't want to feel guilty, You
don't feel you would feel guilty?
If other people lost, yeah, and I steered them the wrong way.
All right. Listen, I got to tell you, if people are getting their betting advice from this Friday live show, I don't know what to
Screw
tell
them.
them. I don't know, not screw them, but I mean, isn't it do your own research? Is that the story there?
For sure. By
I
the way,
do
guys,
mine.
next week Beckett is going live with ticket grading, and a few people actually. RG, I don't know if he's listening live, but he had saved up quite a few tickets to get graded. So if you guys use the code LucaNation next week, you'll be able to get a discount. I believe 10% off.
When we have Beckett on, or maybe we can ask him, I'm curious what kind of tickets they grade.
What
Because
do you mean?
I was looking through movie tickets that I saved. I have movie tickets from the first couple of years that I went and dated my wife. And I'm talking about like Dodgeball opening night ticket. Like the Dodgeball movie. I got 8 Mile opening night in Manhattan. Like saw it with friends. 8 Mile ticket. Like
Involuntary
opening night.
muscle spasms.
Like the first one. Pretty
I
cool.
read it.
And I
in
have
the
them
book.
because I'm a hoarder. I have them. I have probably 50 to 100 movie
What would you
tickets.
put on the custom line on the slab? Best date ever?
With Dodgeball? The
Yeah.
Dodgeball one? I'd be like, dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge. This date had the 6 Ds. Another in and out joke. No? No? No?
Yeah.
Okay,
For sure.
good.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. There's Andrew in a good mood. Optimism. Hobby. Woo! Are you going to dance with Seablaz the next time you see him? That's what I want to know.
No.
Why? He wants to dance with you. He texts me all the time. He's like, can Andrew and I dance?
What do you mean?
That's pretty straightforward.
I don't want to dance with Seablaz. I like the kid. He's a nice kid.
So then why not? Why insult him and turn down his dancing invitation?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have different dreams.
All right, good enough. Guys, we appreciate you coming in for the live. That was fun. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow with the PWCC weekly auction episode. Check out Beckett. Go say hi. Tell him we sent you at the Burbank Show.